Welcome, everybody, to a Fireside Chat with Pitstop, where we will discuss the technology of Pitstop's predictive maintenance product. We have the pleasure of having our Chief Technology Officer and a Chief Science Officer with us that actually built the programming, so they're going to be able to provide us some of that insight. Before we start all of this, just to add a little bit about myself, my name is Alan Babin. I've been in the fleet space for about 20 years, been an active fleet manager for probably about 7 of those years, and I've been a user of the Pitstop product. So without further ado, we're going to get over to talk with our CTO and our CSO and see what Pitstop is all about.
I'm the Chief Technology Officer at Pitstop. My background, I studied computer engineering at University of Waterloo. That's where I met our founder, Shiva Bharadwaj. And then, prior to joining Pitstop, I worked for companies like BlackBerry, Qualcomm, and other startups like Sugar CRM. I joined Pitstop about 5 years ago in 2017 and started as a full stack engineer. And now I'm managing the whole product development cycle and really focused on delivering the right experience to our users, which are mainly the fleet managers.
Yeah, I'm a data scientist and mathematician. I got my start more years ago than I care to say. But I do have a long record of working with engineers and applying math and data science in an innovative way. And I'm quite, I'm interested, I think to describe myself, I love ideas, but I also love getting my hands dirty and writing the code and making sure that it works.
You guys are way above my level when it comes to the technology, but that's great because guys like myself, originally in the role of fleet manager, that's well above us, and we need you guys to help us do our jobs. So, but with that being said, I'm going to ask you, Chris, what is Pitstop? How does it work?
Well, Pitstop is it's a cloud platform, I guess first and foremost. But functionally speaking, it's a suite of tools that will help fleet managers and others do predictive maintenance. So what that means is we're trying to predict problems before they happen. We're trying to give reasonable notice so people can avoid unplanned breakdowns, because those are particularly expensive. Of course, breakdowns are always going to happen, but if you know they're going to happen, then you can schedule a shop visit. So that's quite an advantage. And it's also an advantage, let's say, if shop time is scarce. So you want to manage that and not have a whole bunch of breakdowns happening unexpectedly.
Now, cloud-based platform, it uses AI, machine learning. Can you expand a bit on that, Chris?
Sure, I can expand a bit, or I could expand a lot, but we only have so much time.
We'll take the medium version. How's that?
Sure, no problem. We have a task that we're trying to do. We're trying to predict failures and help people, and we have a lot of data to work with. Some of it is copious and useful, and some of it is not so useful. So we have to sort through the pile of data, figure out what's useful, and then see what patterns are actually going to make predictions that are useful for us. So we can look at components that look like they're on their last legs, battery voltage is fluctuating and so forth. We can look at components that might be wearing out. We can look at data from components that are operating in unusual ranges, high temperatures, things that you wouldn't normally see, and then we know something's wrong. So that's basically the strings that we have to pull, and then we design a bunch of algorithms around that.
So you've mentioned a few times now that you're dealing with some of the most popular telematics providers in the space, and what you're working towards is assisting their customers and focusing on the predictive fleet maintenance aspect of it and the data that can be provided. So can you share with us who some of those telematic providers are?
In terms of what Pitstop supports right now, the main integrations that we are working with are Geotab, Samsara, Verizon, Motive, also known as Keep Trucking, Fleet Complete, and AssetWorks. And we're continuously growing, so we're continuously adding new integrations, but these are the main ones that we support right now.
Now, let's just say I'm a local company. I don't do a lot of big traveling. But I have the Class 8s and the Class 5s and Class 7 trucks. But I don't use any of those. Is there a telematics device that I can purchase from Pitstop or acquire that will do all that without me, getting Samsara or any of the other products?
Right. So we do have a partnership with another manufacturer that sells OBD2 devices.
Mhm.
So you can get those devices, and we already have integration built with them. So once you get those devices, you connect within your vehicle, it automatically shows up on the Pitstop platform.
So basically, I can use any one of the integrated partners, or I can use a device directly provided by Pitstop. So it's not like I'm tied to an ELD platform or anything to that effect. Correct?
Correct.
Anybody who wants to sign up for Pitstop just has to acquire a device that will listen to what's on the bus, and it will send us the data via the normal cell phone networks and so forth.
Mhm.
So you don't need any special software for that. That's already developed. You need to have a browser to actually look at our dashboard, but generally speaking, you don't need software.
One of the dilemmas of a fleet manager is that we're inundated with data. It literally is data overload. So, gentlemen, in all of that data, what do you guys look for? What do you guys use? And what is your core basis for the information that you're going to provide back?
So yeah, like we work with variety of data that's coming through this particular device through the CAN bus protocol. So the main data that we are streaming into our system is the fault code information that the vehicles are generating. So let's say whenever there's an engine light on the vehicle, or there's a problem that comes up on the vehicle, that there are fault codes that get generated. We stream those fault codes into our system. And then we are also continuously getting the sensor data, which are called the PIDs. So what that means is we're getting data like battery voltage. So like every 10 seconds, there's battery voltage being generated on that bus, and we're pulling that information. Or things like engine coolant temperature, or the speed, RPM, or the GPS location. So we're capturing all that data set, and we stream that into our database in Pitstop's backend.
So, as we're all aware, data security is very, very important in the space right now. How does Pitstop provide that support for the security and ensures that the data is protected? What can you say?
So we are a cloud-based solution, and we are also, like, the way we built this software, we've kept security in mind because this data is really important to us and to our customers. So security at Pitstop is taken very seriously. We are using AWS to power our backend infrastructure, and we're using the best practices that AWS has provided with us when we were designing this solution. Also, all the data that we are capturing has been encrypted, so nobody can read through that data sets. And another thing that we have on our side is access management. What that means is, let's say you have a fleet X and there's another fleet Y, and if fleet Y tries to read data from Pitstop, and it try to, let's say, ask Pitstop, can we get data from fleet X? They will be rejected for that. So only
Okay.
one fleet can look at its own data set, and that's how we've designed this system.
Does it matter if I have 5 trucks, 50 trucks, or 1,000 trucks?
Well, from the customer point of view, that should be something that's totally unimportant. We may be more help to certain fleet sizes. From a technical point of view, if you're bringing in more data, that's a bigger load on the system. It requires a little more maturity to make sure your system is robust when you have greater loads. If you had some interruption, it might take longer to recover. But generally speaking, we think we've done a pretty good job in planning against those kinds of scale issues.
Thanks for tuning in for part 1 of our Fireside Chat series. It's part of a 3-part series. Please join us for part 2 coming up, which will talk about our various features and how it addresses fleet management needs.